Hello, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I think we're live. I think you can hear me. Let me get the mic a little bit closer. Wow, what a beautiful day in Moses Lake today, man. It was warm. Thank you all for being here. Let me check out the comments here so far. They're flipping by here pretty fast. We got Facebook and Twitter and YouTube all going at the same time. Paula, hello from Quincy. Hello back to Quincy. Paula, thanks for being on here. Jerry, we got this. Definitely. Thank you guys. John, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Let's see. We missed Tuesdays with the Chief. Well, I'm glad you're on here, Desiree. Appreciate you being here. American Made. Yes, that's a great song, isn't it? Dakota Poorman. You guys might remember him. He played at remember him playing at the rallies in 2020. It was absolutely awesome. You guys hit that share button if you would. Appreciate it. Hi, Karen. Hi, Cheryl. Lisa, Carrick, Vicky, and a Facebook user from Benton City. That's all it says. Thanks, Vicky, Lynn, Fisher. Loud and clear, Eastern Washington, Richland with you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I was just down there not too long ago. I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. Paul, Newhouse Pukey Face. Am I right? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm going to talk about an article that just came out on national news here in just a minute. Okay. Trey. Good evening. The rhinos need to go to church in order to get some common sense. Absolutely. I don't know that the rhinos even know what common sense is, even if it hit them up alongside the head. Hi, Lynette, Darcy, Auntie Carrick, Rick, Vicky, Loren. Thank you guys for being on here. So I have breaking news for you guys. Breaking news. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Let me pull this up here so I can see the other feed too. So, breaking national news. I was just watching the election returns for Colorado. Colorado has their Republican primary today. And y'all know, if you follow me very much or have for very long, you know that I am a big supporter of my friend Loren Boebert. And guess what? Loren Boebert won re-election in her Republican primary in Colorado today. It was just announced right before I hit the button to send this. I was watching a website on PBR. I think they were following the elections. They called the race. Loren has won. Loren Boebert is a fighter, you guys. If you've seen her speaking, if you've seen her on TV, she is a fighter. She is America First candidate, Trump endorsed candidate, and she is fighting for this country. That's the thing about Congress, right? A congressman or woman from Colorado or Florida or Maine or Washington, their vote affects everyone across this nation. So I am so happy that she won her election. Now she goes and faces a Democrat in November. So congratulations to Congresswoman Loren Boebert. If you saw my show a little bit ago, yes, Paul, absolutely. If you saw my show a little bit ago, I talked about what Loren Boebert came out and campaigned for me in 2020 when I was running for governor. And she had just announced that she was running for Congress for the very first time. And I can't be happier or prouder of her. And she called me up not too long ago, invited me to Washington, D.C. I went back there. First time in my life I've ever been to Washington, D.C., but when Congresswoman Loren Boebert calls you up and says, hey, stop by, that you do it, right? I was very happy to meet with her. And she actually donated the maximum amount to my campaign. That's correct. So very happy. I can't wait to be working in Congress with Loren Boebert and all of the other Freedom Caucus members who understand that they are public servants. They're not public masters. They're public servants, and they swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. God bless all of them. And God bless you guys for supporting America First, Trump endorsed, constitutionally minded conservatives like myself. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. So congratulations one more time to Loren Boebert. The tide is turning, you guys. The tide is definitely turning. How about the Supreme Court justices, right? Thank the Lord. It's about time. We got some Supreme Court justices in there that got a backbone. They stood up for the unborn and said that it's not a constitutional right. There's nothing in the Constitution that says anything about abortion at all. Send it back to the states where it belongs. It's not a federal issue. How many times have I talked about the 10th Amendment and what's not written in the Constitution according to the 10th Amendment? It's left up to the states and the people. Everything, including the education of our children. There is nothing in the Constitution about the federal government being in charge of the education of our children and holding money over the states that if they don't teach the crap that the bureaucrats in the Department of Education want taught, like CRT, like the nasty sex education that they're pushing, then they don't get funding. Nothing in the Constitution that gives Congress that power or anyone in the federal government that power. So, according to the 10th Amendment, that is left up to the states and the people, and I will fight for that. I will fight to eliminate the Department of Education and get education back at the local level so parents are in charge of what's being taught. And we will see a turnaround in this country because we will be raising children, our kids, that understand what our founders went through. They understand that America is a great country. It is not a racist country. And that the rule of law means something. One of the biggest things is if it's not in the Constitution, the federal government has no business doing anything with it. End of conversation. So big move for gun rights and saving the unborn. And then I guess the New York State Supreme Court ruled in favor of a citizen's right to keep and bear arms as well. We don't have to ask the government's permission to exercise a right that is given to us by our Creator and protected by the Constitution. It's amazing, but the tide is turning. So thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate that. Mr. Laxative, I like your name. Will you promote school choice? Absolutely. The same thing that I said when I was running for governor in 2020 is parents are in charge of their children, not the government. And parents should be allowed to decide where their child is educated, whether that's private school or public school, whatever school they want, and the funding should follow the child. That funding should be left with the states and the people to begin with, and not even sent to the federal government. So I have always said that the funding needs to follow the child. And I guarantee you, we will have a whole lot better education system. So what have I been up to? Man, I'm excited. Loren Boebert back in Congress. That's awesome. So last week I had a pretty busy week. Last Tuesday, I interviewed with the Spokesman Review. Wednesday, NPR. And then Thursday, we had a fundraising dinner in Tri-Cities. And thank you to everyone who showed up. We did excellent. We had Sheriff Richard Mack from Arizona come out, and Klickitat County Sheriff Bob Songer, who, by the way, has been in law enforcement for 51 years. 51 years, and he's running for sheriff again. Amazing. Bob Songer is a constitutional sheriff. Richard Mack, who I've talked about on this show before, is a constitutional sheriff. He's retired from Arizona. He stood up for citizens' rights and states' rights when they passed the Brady law. And he sued the Clinton administration, took it all the way to the Supreme Court and won, and he has lived to tell about it. Amazing man. So that was a late night, let me tell you. Chris brought Sheriff Mack down to Tri-Cities for the dinner, gave him a ride from the airport in Spokane. And then after the dinner, after the fundraiser, I drove him back to Spokane and then back home to Moses Lake. And I think I might have gotten to bed about 3 o'clock in the morning that night. But it was well worth it. So thank you to everyone who came out and showed your support. Friday, we did a rally in Omak at the park. And I appreciate everybody coming out, getting signs, donating to the campaign, showing your support. And then Saturday, we're back in Tri-Cities for a rally. And then I went to the west side on Sunday because my good friend Matt Larkin is running for Congress in the 8th District. And he was having a rally. And, you know, you remember in 2020 when I was running for governor, Matt Larkin and I traveled together and campaigned together sometimes. So I wanted to go over there. He was having that rally on Sunday, and I wanted to go over there and show him support. So I went over there and spoke at his event, and I know that Matt will stand up for your rights as a congressman, and I look forward to serving him in Congress as well. So if you're in the 8th District, make sure that you vote for Matt Larkin for Congress. Man, the time is just getting away from me. Okay, just checking out the comments. So yesterday, last night, I think it was, an article came out on Breitbart News. And apparently, the guy that I'm running against, the rhino, Dan Newhouse, apparently the Democrats are helping him out. They did him a favor. Now, why is that? Why would they do that? Why would Democrats do a favor for a Republican? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Why would they throw him a bone? I mean, at least he calls himself a Republican. But the Democrats threw him a bone on restricting immigration. And, you know, we all know that Democrats are for wide open borders and illegals being allowed to vote in our elections. So why in the heck would they support Dan Newhouse's amendment to a bill? Why would they do that? They don't have any reason to do that. Or do they? So let me pull that up here. I'll show you guys. I think it's got it on this screen, right? Boom. Right there. Breitbart News. Democrats aid pro-amnesty GOP rep Newhouse with Title 42 theater. Amazing, isn't it? Concerned Democrats staged a theatrical committee to help an embattled Republican Representative Dan Newhouse survive his August 2nd primary race against a small government candidate endorsed by former President Trump. They called me and asked me to comment on this, and I said it's just a ploy for him to remain in office. So this is a proposal that Newhouse put in here to extend Title 42. It says it right. Whoops. Says it right there. Newhouse's amendment would extend Trump-imposed Title 42 barrier until 6 months after the White House rescinds the coronavirus emergency declaration. And Newhouse said that Title 42 is critical to managing the current border crisis. Well, it's about time he got on board with that, right? He has introduced legislation in the past that incentivize people to come across our border illegally. So what is going on here, right? Why would the Democrats, who are for open borders, why would they support extending Title 42? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? But it's a pretty good article. You guys check it out at Breitbart.com. So the deal is, and this is what happened. Let me get this back up here. Okay, there we are. So here's what's going on. Here's what went down, and I know this. Common sense tells you, right? Newhouse knows that he's in trouble. The poll numbers since December have him way behind me by 6 to 8 points. You know, he knows that our district is very mad at him because he hears from voters every day. Not that he cares, but he knows he's in trouble. And that's the only thing that matters to him. We, the people, don't matter to him. Getting reelected matters to him. So in exchange for voting with the Democrats on impeachment and the January 6th committee, for voting with them on spending bills and social programs like funding Planned Parenthood, which he's done, and sending trillions of dollars to foreign governments, which he's done. In this committee, he proposed extending Title 42. And now everybody knows the Democrats are against that, right? But when it came up to a vote, the Democrats kept silent. They didn't vote. It was a voice vote. They didn't vote. So his amendment stayed. But here's the kicker. And read the article. It explains it even more. The Democrat-controlled House can pull this before it goes to the floor of the Congress after the election, August 2nd. So Newhouse can run around and say, look what I did. I got this extension on Title 42 to secure our borders, which everybody with a brain knows that our borders aren't secure at all. Extending Title 42 isn't changing Biden's mind on anything or his handler's mind on anything, right? But he can go around and say, look, this is what I did. I extended Title 42. And then after the primary, the Democrats will pull it because they're not going to let it go to the floor for a vote with his amendment on there. But they did it for him because they want to work with him. They don't want to work with me because they know that I will uphold and defend the Constitution. I'm not going to play games with the Democrats. We're going to return this government back to the confines of the Constitution where it belongs so that we are free. That's what our government was set up for, was to protect citizens' rights. Not all this money laundering crap that's going on with these politicians and their games that they play. So that's what's happening. Democrats threw him a bone. He's like, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. There's a real constitutional conservative, a Trump-endorsed candidate going against me in the 4th District. I'm in trouble. I might not even make it out of the primary because the Democrat is almost tied with me, Newhouse talking here, in the polls. So Newhouse could get primaried. I'm way ahead of him. 6 to 8 points have been since December. The Democrat is nipping right at his heels. So Newhouse could get primaried. And this was the favor that Democrats did for him by staying silent in this committee right before the election. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing, the games they play, right? So let's see. Yeah, be sure you check that out on Breitbart. and I posted it actually on Facebook and on Twitter, and I'm also on Truth Social. So if you're on there, look me up. And let's see, we've got upcoming events. You guys are awesome. We've got upcoming events. Susan, you're a winner as well. What do you got here, Adam? Loren Cult, please tell Heidi St. John and Vicky Kraft they need to bow out now. Yeah, that's the problem. All of these candidates that are running, they say that they're America first. They say they support President Trump. They support the Trump agenda. They try to get President Trump's endorsement. They even say, if one of the other candidates gets his endorsement, I will back out. But then the other candidate, Joe Kent and myself, got President Trump's endorsement. And how many backed out? One in Joe Kent's race, because he was a man of honor. He abided by his word. So how can you vote for someone who doesn't even keep their word in an election? Imagine how they will be when they're in office. So it's disgusting, actually, if you want to know the truth. So they support President Trump. They support the Trump agenda, but oh no, you didn't pick me, so now I don't support him anymore. I'm running anyway. I'm fighting not only against this other contestant, but the entire Trump organization is trying to get America First candidates elected. And so they're fighting against the entire Trump organization and going to pull votes away from myself and Joe Kent. It's a tactic that's been used for a long time. And the mainstreamers like that because they don't want a constitutional conservative. They don't want someone who is going to stand up for the Constitution. They think that's a radical idea. It's crazy, I know that a lot of the mainstreamers have said that I'm nothing but a hillbilly because they're that afraid of a constitutional conservative. They are. They like the status quo. They like business as usual. But I like business the way that a business should be run, and I like a government that abides by the Constitution and public servants who uphold and defend the Constitution. And, there's this little thing where they raise their right hand. Where's the hand? Right there. They raise their right hand and they swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, but they don't do it. They want the status quo. They want things the way that it's always been. They like the money laundering that they do through donations and through sending trillions of dollars overseas. Why do you think they all ran over to Ukraine when the billions and billions of dollars dropped over there? Why do you think that is? Why would they go into a war zone? Why would they do that? Because they wanted to make sure that their portion, 10% for the big guy, well, maybe a couple percent for everybody else. They wanted to make sure their money was coming. They wanted to show their support. That is what happens, you guys, all the time. Okay, so this weekend, it is 7:30. Well, you guys talk too much. Time just flew by. Upcoming this weekend, I am going to be, we'll have a booth at the Freedom Fest in Moses Lake all weekend. I will be there off and on when I have time, because also on Saturday, I'm going to be in the parade in Concanooly up in Okanagan County, back to Freedom Fest on Sunday. And then I am going to be in the parade Monday, which is Independence Day. I'm going to be in the parade in George, Washington. Yes, there is a town called George, Washington, and I love it. It's right down the road from me. I'll be at the parade in George, Washington on Monday, and I am also the keynote speaker at the Independence Day celebration in George, Washington. So look for me there. Love the support, you guys, that we're getting all over the place. It is absolutely amazing. One thing I want to touch on: people are wondering, and it's like, well, where's the signs? We're not seeing so many signs. Remember in 2020 there were cult signs everywhere. Well, signs are what you need when you'd have no name recognition. Nobody knows who you are. It's a form of advertising who you are. I have about 99% name ID, you guys. We're not pushing signs like we were before. So that's why. So don't worry about that at all. Let's see. I think I touched on everything. So look for me at events this weekend. And don't forget, you guys, it's Independence Day. All right. The 4th of July is Independence Day. Don't call it the 4th or anything else. Just like you wouldn't call Christmas, Happy December 25th, right? We need to remember what the day is. Just like Christmas, we call it Christmas. We don't call it December 25th. So we need to just switch that thinking a little bit, call it Independence Day so that we don't lose the meaning. It's not a date. It's not a number. It is on July 4th, yes, but it is Independence Day. So happy Independence Day to everyone. I love this country. Absolutely love this country. And I love everybody who stands up for this country. This is almost the end of the month, the end of the quarter. If you guys can afford to, please go to my website, cultforcongress.com, and donate whatever you can afford. The end of the quarter is this month. So just a few days. Donate what you can. We've got to run radio and TV ads, and they're not cheap. So I depend on you guys. I don't depend on the special interest groups. I know that you guys won't let me down. You have never let me down. So thank you. I saw a lot of donations coming in today. And if you're not signed up for the email, go to my website, cultforcongress.com. Get signed up for the email alerts too, you guys. That's how we stay in touch. So I appreciate everything. Remember, never, ever give up. Never back down. Always fight for our rights and always stand up for America. I will be there right with you. God bless you guys. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to share this. All right. You guys have a good night.